Okay, welcome to this special video on how to shrink fibroids naturally in 4 months. Okay, now this video I'm going to reveal the top 3 steps on how to get rid of fibroids fast without having to go under the knife or without having to undertake a surgery. Okay, so for people who don't know, the Fibroid 3-Step Shrinking Program is a proven, tested method to get rid of fibroids without damaging other parts of your body. Okay, this method I'm going to be revealing to you in this video is guaranteed to shrink your fibroids while keeping your body parts and organs safe and healthy. Unlike surgery, okay, you know, most times when people have fibroids, what they think about is surgery, but then we all know that surgery has its risks, and sometimes you are not in control of the outcome of a medical surgery. Okay, so before we get started, I would like to give us a disclaimer, a medical disclaimer. What this means is that in as much as the information I am exposing in this video works, in as much as the information I am sharing with you in this video will shrink your fibroids naturally without pills or without having to go through surgery, you should not use this in place of professional medical advice. What I mean is that you should always see a medical doctor in person before undergoing any major lifestyle change or taking up any medical advice or tip. Okay, so with that said, let's dive straight into the video, and in less than 10 minutes I'm going to be showing you exactly. Now these steps I'm going to be showing you, these 3 steps I'm going to be showing you, are natural, and at the same time they will help you achieve faster results in as little as 3 months to 4 months. Okay, these are the same steps that I used with Nurse Vivian in order to shrink her fibroids. Okay, so if you've been having PCOS, fibroids, blocked tubes, and other obstacles that may be hindering your ability to get pregnant or maybe causing you untold pains, this video is for you. Okay, so if you're a couple, whether you're a man or a woman, and you have someone who is passing through this same pains, constant pains, this video is for you. Okay, now the size of a fibroid could be as big as this, or it could be very small, just like a ball. And again, the size and the position matters a lot. You may, if you go for a test during the first times, what the doctor, maybe a scan, what the doctor will suggest the first time is to watch the fibroids. Okay, because most times they come and they go on their own without even causing any major harm. Most women will not even know they have it, except when they start having the normal symptoms, which I will also talk about in this video. Okay, so why is it so common? Why is fibroids so common? Fibroids occur in about 20% of all women. Okay, so if there are 10 women in a room, statistically 2 of them will have fibroids. Okay, so now it occurs majorly in black women. I don't know if it's because of the kind of drugs they've been pumping us with, all these medical aids that have been coming down to Africa. We don't know if they are the reason why this situation is prevalent in mostly black people. Okay, and at the same time, it's also, irrespective of the high occurrence, not all women know about this or what causes it. Okay, so I've taken my time to explain every single thing that you need to know about fibroids, cysts, and PCOS, especially those ones that keep reoccurring after you've had surgery. It comes back again and all that. Okay, now one of the most common fibroids and ovarian cysts are one of the most common causes of hysterectomy. That is removal, a surgery where you remove the woman's uterus entirely. Okay, so Why am I doing this? Why am I revealing all this? I mean, these are information that normally we charge people as much as 100 and something thousand naira just to for consultation and for treatment and all that, but then I'm giving it out for free. Why am I doing this? The first reason is because I am a scientist. Okay, and we do a whole lot of research, and sometimes when you gather all this information, you don't know what to do with it apart from improving yourself. We just decide to give them out so that lots of people, even if you don't have enough money to register for the paid program, at least you can still benefit from it. Now, secondly, I'm a practicing nurse. Okay, and I've been in the medical field for over 5 to 6 years now. Okay, so it comes from experience. And number 3, I have a former fibroid sufferer in my family. Okay, so most of the things I'm sharing here are part of my life goal, which is to share my experience and knowledge with lots of women to help you make a better choice when treating fibroids. Okay, so as a practicing nurse of over 5 years, I have prepared a detailed program for women. I prepared this program alongside Nurse Vivian, and we've prepared this detailed program for women who wish to get rid of fibroids using a non-surgical way. Okay, if you're looking at how to get rid of your fibroids naturally without surgery, now this is the chance for you, because this is a step-by-step instructional video program that shows you exactly how to get rid of your fibroids without even visiting the hospital, without undergoing any risky surgeries and all that. You're going to love this. Okay, so let's get ahead, and I'm going to be showing you the 3 major steps, natural steps that you can use to say goodbye forever to your fibroids. Now, before we start, I want you to know that it is very easy to get diagnosed of fibroids. It's very easy for you to go for a scan or an ultrasound, and the doctor will say, okay, I think you have fibroid. But then it is difficult choosing the best option to treat your fibroid, cyst, or blocked tubes. Okay, when you know which treatment method to go with, your journey becomes a lot easier, and you will notice that you will get results faster, as against when maybe because of, like I said in the beginning, everybody has, this is not to be used in place of a medical professional advice, because we are all different individuals and we have different health histories. Okay, what's wrong with me may not be exactly what is wrong with the other person. So, but then the knowledge that you gain here is a general knowledge that will help you and guide you through the path of choosing the best option to treat your fibroids. Okay, so now, first of all, what are uterine fibroids? Okay, what is all these fibroid things, or fibroid? What is fibroid? Uterine fibroids are non-cancerous growth of muscle cells in the uterine wall that causes unpleasant and painful symptoms. Okay, now what this means is that fibroids are not cancerous. They cannot cause you cancer. Okay, and they may grow in size, but then they are not cancerous. Each fibroid grows from a single muscle cell. That is why fibroids are considered clonal tumors. Now, forget all the big medical. I'm going to be using a whole lot of scientific words here and medical words. Don't pay attention to them, because when you try to pay attention to the words, you lose the message. So just pay attention to the message, and I'll try as much as possible to carry you along. Okay, so like I said, fibroids are non-cancerous, and they are formed from your muscle cells, like the normal cells in your body. Now, your normal muscle, that's where the thing grows from. Okay, it can occur to anybody, irrespective of your country or your race, or whether you're tall or short. It could happen to anybody, but at the same time, some people may have their own and they may not even know it until they start having the symptoms. On the other hand, you may not have the symptoms, it may not disturb you, it may just come and go on its own. Okay, now, how are fibroids formed? The major ways of fibroids forming is that it comes from your body cells, like I said in the last slide, and these body cells will now twist together and form a ball. It's like when you don't comb your hair for a while and it forms a lock. Okay, that's the same way fibroids grow. Your muscle cells, maybe they just twist together and they form a ball, and before you know it, the size it's growing in size and it's causing you pains and all that. Now, the size and location matters too, and it will also determine what kind of treatment you will use. Okay, there are about 3 to 4 major types of fibroid growths, and I'll try as much as possible to explain them to you. Now, follow my mouse movement. This one here now is called subserosal fibroids. Okay, now subserosal fibroids, that's this one here, they are fibroids that stick from the outer surface of the uterus, creating an irregular shape. Like if you watch here now, you find out that it's made here to push out a little, this part of the womb to push out a little. This is called subserosal fibroids. Now, this one here, intramural fibroids, is the one that is formed inside the walls of the womb. Okay, now submucosal fibroids is formed in the mucosal level. That's like the more inside, it's all inside the muscles too. Okay, now this one, this intracavity fibroids, this one is the one that pushes inside the uterus. And pedunculated fibroids, this one above now, is the one that grows outwards. It has something like when it forms like a stalk, like a branch. Okay, this one is the major reason why sometimes you hear most women, they'll complain about movement, or they're feeling some movement inside their tummy. Now, it's this particular fibroid that is causing it. Now, this one this subserosal is the one that will form, and the woman will be looking like she's pregnant, or maybe a part of her tummy is looking big. It's subserosal fibroids that causes it. Okay, so basically there are the types that grow outside of your muscles, and there are the ones that grow inside or within the muscles of your uterus. Okay, so we are going to be talking more about them and how to treat them in this video. I've already explained all this, so you can pause the video and take notes. When you come across something you're interested in, you can just click on the pause button and take notes. Okay, so what are the symptoms? What are the signs that shows you that you may have fibroids? Okay, if you're in our Facebook group, The Fruit of the Womb, we just put up a post, I think it was 2 days ago, about these signs and symptoms. Okay, now the best way of knowing if you have fibroids, cysts, or PCOS, blocked tubes and all that, is to go for a scan, an ultrasound test. Okay, when you go for an ultrasound test, the doctors are going to perform some physical checks to make sure that this is actually the cause of the symptoms you're having. Now, number one symptom is having long and heavy bleeding. Okay, one thing is this, it's very hard to say the amount of bleeding that a woman has that is considered heavy, or the amount that is light. But normally a woman's menstrual cycles last within 4 and 5 days. In short, let's call it within 3 and 5 days. Okay, and within that 3 and 5 days, you may experience normal flow, you may experience heavy flow. So it is very hard to say that this one is heavy or this one is light. It's an individual thing. At the same time, if your period lasts for more than 5 days, then it's a sign that you may have fibroids. Okay, so that is why when you're bleeding more than the normal duration, it's good to also do a blood test and know if you have a short of red blood cells or anemia. Okay, sometimes we recommend that you do a full blood count. Or you just go to and tell them that you've been bleeding, go to a lab, tell them you've been bleeding and you want to check for anemia. They should do a blood test on you, full blood test. Okay, a CBC. Now, at the same time, you can also experience pelvic pressure and discomfort. That is, when I mean your pelvic, that's around the stomach, the abdomen, your stomach area, but towards the back. Okay, you may be experiencing back pains, you may be experiencing frequent urination and constipation too. You may find it hard to pass stool. When you go to the toilet, you may find it hard to release stool. Okay, so that is another sign. Another one to take note of is sudden severe pains. All of a sudden, bam, there's a pain, maybe on the left side or on the right side. There is a severe pain, lasts for a few minutes and it starts releasing. Okay, now most times, most women will tell you that it could be a sign of ovulation, it could be your eggs being released and all that. Yes, it could be, but at the same time, when you're having heavy bleeding, back pains and this sudden tummy pains, you may want to check to see if you have fibroids or not. Okay, now what causes these pains is that when this fibroid tumors grows too fast, blood supply, the blood that is being supplied to that particular cell may not be enough to accommodate for the growth, so it starts paining you. Or maybe when you're lying down or you're moving in a particular way and the fibroid may twist. Now this may also cause you pain. Okay, so now one major question I always get is if fibroids can cause pregnancy complications. Now the answer to this is yes, it can cause pregnancy complications, but not always. In fact, it is rare for your fibroids to cause a pregnancy complication. Okay, but then that depends on the location. If it is blocking the entrance to the your tubes, it may actually hinder conception. It may make it hard for you to conceive. Now, what are the factors? Like, what are the factors that causes or that can influence having fibroids? Number one is your race. I said that earlier. Fibroids is more common to black women, African American people. Okay, that is why most times people don't really trust modern medicine, because there have been rumors that most of these diseases that the government is not doing enough to actually cure it because they have the capacity to cure it. There have been rumors that black or women of black race are being targeted with all these diseases and all that. That's why most times it looks as if they are the ones who are black women are at more risk to fibroids. Okay, now secondly, pregnancy. Once a woman has a child or gives birth to a baby, the pregnancy itself changes the shape of the woman's womb. Okay, which makes it like if you have a baby, your chances of having fibroid will be reduced drastically. Okay, now that's how nature works. Now another thing that can affect or influence fibroids is contraceptives, oral contraceptives. That's pills and pills that women take to prevent conception. Okay, now the science behind it is that, you know, most of these pills, the way they work is when you take them and your body digests these pills, it goes into your body and it tries to regulate your hormones that can make you get pregnant. Okay, especially estrogen. When these pills regulate estrogen, it will make, because estrogen and progesterone are the two hormones in a woman's body that can make fibroids grow quicker. So when you take these oral contraceptives and it is reducing these hormones, the production of these hormones in your body, likewise your likelihood of having fibroids will be reduced. At the same time, smoking too. Women that smoke don't really have a case of fibroids because smoking generally, although it's not healthy, smoking reduces the level of this estrogen and progesterone, that is these hormones that your body is released and is releasing as a woman. Okay, now the other important part of your everyday life that can influence fibroid is your diet, what you eat, your eating habit. Okay, if you have a very poor eating habit, you take a lot of processed food that are not natural, foods that are produced in an industry. Okay, you find out that your body will tend to produce more of these hormones, this progesterone and estrogen. These are like the women hormone, mostly found in high amounts in a woman's body. Okay, and like I said earlier, these hormones will help, or an increase of these hormones will increase the chances of you having fibroids. At the same time, the final thing that could influence the fibroid growth is your body mass index, your BMI. So if you are overweight and you are not very tall, you stand a high risk of having fibroids, because overweight comes from the way your body is processing the food you are eating. If your body, maybe because of what you're feeding your body, the chemicals that the food you eat release in your body, it may affect how your body digests food, and in the same way it may give rise to fibroid growth or cysts and all that. Okay, now that said, let's move on to the next. Why do fibroids form? Now we've known what causes it, we've known what can influence it. Now, why does it form? A different question. First of all, we look at genetics. It could be in your blood. There are people who are, like, as you know, there are people who, no matter how they sleep, they can never fall sick of malaria because of maybe their blood type and all that, especially people who are AS. Now, the same thing happens with fibroids. Okay, if you have noticed that maybe in your family you guys have an occurrence of fibroids, okay, it's advisable to look at maybe your mother's side or your father's side, and a close look at that will show you if it is something that runs in the blood. Okay, now secondly, you have your environment. That is the drugs you take, where you live, radiation, even your diet. Okay, and at the same time, I already talked about your body hormones. If you're having lots of or imbalanced hormones, maybe your body is producing estrogen and progesterone at an abnormal rate, it may also cause fibroids to form in your body. Okay, so now this is the gist, the main gist of this whole thing. This is where I know everybody has been waiting for: the treatment options. What are the treatment options available? You have the natural treatment ways, and you have the modern medicine way. Okay, so we are going to start with the second part, which is the modern medicine treatment options. You have what we call GnRH hormones. Okay, now these are called gonadotrophin releasing hormone. You see, naturally, when you introduce this hormone into your body, it will release estrogen and progesterone to regulate your menstrual cycle. Okay, now this GnRH hormone does wonders to shrink fibroids more than 50% in 3 months, but many women reported the reoccurrence of these fibroid symptoms after they have stopped the treatment. Okay, now what this means is that GnRH is effective in stopping the bleeding and the symptoms, and even reducing the size of the fibroids, but then it is considered a short-term solution for fibroids. Okay, so maybe when you visit the hospital, your doctor may suggest this to you, which is good, but then it is short-term. Secondly, you have mifepristone RU486. Okay, now like I said, forget all the medical grammar, just pay attention to the meaning. Now, this is a synthetic steroid. A steroid is an hormone releasing chemical in our body. Okay, now it is also known as the abortion pill because it suppresses glucocorticoids and progesterone. When you, like I said in the past slide when I was telling you about things that influence fibroid growth, I told you about people who take prescription pills, people who take anti-pregnancy pills, what's it called, contraceptives. Okay, now when you take contraceptives, it regulates some hormones that would normally make you to get pregnant, and fibroid depends on progesterone to grow. Okay, so it makes sense taking a drug that suppresses progesterone growth, and in other words helps to shrink your fibroids. But then, however, doctors don't suggest this treatment for a reason unknown, but I have found many success stories with this treatment. when I was researching on how to shrink fibroids with Nurse Vivian. Okay, so this is a very good, this mifepristone RU486 is a good way of fighting it, but I don't know why doctors are not prescribing it. I think it is because of the nasty side effects it comes along with. Okay, so that takes us to the third medical cure for or treatment for fibroids: raloxifene. Yes, sorry about that. Raloxifene therapy is mainly used by postmenopausal women to treat bone loss. Now, what this means is that people who have reached menopause, when you reach menopause and you start experiencing calcium deficiency, maybe you start experiencing arthritis, pain, and all that, this raloxifene is the treatment they use to treat bone loss in women that have seen their menopause. Okay, but then it has been noticed that this same treatment helps in regulating estrogen receptor. That is the way your body absorbs estrogen. Okay, and in that way it is a promising therapy to reduce fibroid size. In fact, we've noticed up to 83% decrease, at least if there are 100 women now who have seen menopause and want to treat fibroids using this raloxifene, we have noticed that 83% of them noticed success and that their fibroid will reduce by almost half of the size. Okay, but unfortunately the effects of this treatment on women who are still that's premenopausal women who are still seeing their menstruation is not known. Okay, so it is not complete. The research on this drug is not complete yet. Okay, now you have another way of treating fibroids, which is surgery. Okay, it's called myomectomy. It is one of the best surgical options available to get rid of fibroids. In fact, if you search for how to get rid of fibroids on Google right now on your internet, you'll realize that there are lots of websites who are suggesting this type of surgery. The great thing is that myomectomy is a surgical procedure in which the doctor removes the fibroids without removing the uterus. Okay, this surgery is a great option for women who want to protect, maybe you want to protect your reproductive organs and at the same time cure the fibroids. You know, I told you guys that when you get pregnant and when you have a baby, the rate of fibroids occurring in your body reduces. Now, for women who have stopped giving birth, it is quite low for them to have fibroids. So now, that's why most times the doctor will advise you that if you have finished giving birth, you can remove your womb using this surgery now. Okay, and when you do that, you're going to end any fibroid wahala permanently. Okay, now this surgery usually takes about 3 to 4 hours, and it's not considered a serious procedure because it's common. But then keep in mind that any type of surgery is very risky. Okay, most times when women come over to the clinic, we talk to them. That's why most times they charge as high as 200,000 naira for this consultation and the solutions and the whole surgery and everything. Okay, just make sure you go with a surgeon who has a lot of experience in this procedure. Okay, now you also have hysterectomy. You see, there are lots of when all those other medical options fail, all those ones that I showed you, including what's it called, mifepristone, gonadotropin releasing hormones and all that, when you've tried all of them and it fails, you have one surefire way of getting rid of fibroids. In fact, if you or your loved ones, anybody you know at all, is suffering from fibroids, then it is possible you may have heard the doctor talking about this surgical procedure. Okay, hysterectomy is done from abdomen or vagina, which requires the removal of the uterus. Sometimes you also remove the ovaries as well. Although removal of ovaries reduces the chances of ovarian cancer, however, it has one very nasty side effect, which is instant menopause. Okay, so as soon as you undergo this surgery and you start thinking about removing your womb because of the pains of fibroids and maybe the wahala it is giving you, you'll understand that once you do that, you would enter menopause immediately. Okay, so hysterectomy is very complicated surgery and it should be performed by expert surgeons only. You don't go to the chemist and tell them you want to perform hysterectomy, or maybe you want to remove your ovaries and you go to a roadside chemist store and risk your life. Don't try it. Okay, better go with an experienced doctor. Although the death rate is very low, at least 1 in 1,000 women may not survive this surgery due to blood clots or other complications. Okay, so what I'm just saying here is make sure you go with an experienced doctor. Now, as you can see on the image, this before the surgery, the whole uterus is intact. Now, after hysterectomy, it has been removed. You can see it's now white. So that's it. Now you have embolization. One of the few successful procedures available to get rid of fibroids permanently is uterine fibroid embolization. Once more, forget the grammar, forget the medical jargon. This surgery procedure helps, like the way it works is that the doctor will just cut off blood supply to the fibroids, and when the fibroid is not receiving enough blood supply again, it will start shrinking in size. Okay, and sometimes this is a permanent procedure. The solution is permanent. In this procedure, the doctor will insert a very flexible tube, it's like a catheter, into your artery, and the doctor uses that. There's a contrast, a dye, and an x-ray machine. If you've ever been for a HCG test, you will notice that there is a dye that is used, or maybe the doctor may tell you there's a dye that maybe if he explained the procedure before you actually went for the test. Okay, during HSG, there is a dye that is used to actually know where blood flows and the particular location of your organs. Okay, so that when they look at it with the x-ray, they can be able to say, okay, these are the blood vessels, and they can know where the womb and everything, your organs are located. Now, this dye is the same dye that is used. They will pass it through your blood vessels, and with the help of the catheter, he will locate the particular blood vessels to cut off, so that your fibroids will stop receiving blood supply. Okay, now if you've noticed, all I've been talking about is just the medical ways of doing this, how to do that using surgery, how to cure fibroids using pills or injections and all that. But then everybody knows that Nurse Vivian is focused on natural ways of handling these sicknesses. Okay, so what are the natural holistic methods of getting rid of fibroids? This is the step where I get to show you the exact 3 simple steps that we took to cure fibroids in less than 6 months without surgery. Okay, it took us about 3 months to study and master the steps, and by the time we started practicing it, it took us extra 3 months. Okay, but for you, as I've done the whole hard work, we've done the whole research and we are giving it to you. So for you, it should take you about 2 to 3 months to recover totally from fibroid, cyst, or a blocked tube. Okay, now don't get me wrong, this is not a magic formula. It is going to take time depending on the kind of damage that has been done to your organ. Okay, so it's not something you say, okay, because it worked for me for 3 months, that you're going to get the results in 2 months. No, it's just something you have to keep on doing. Like I said, it's a natural holistic method. Okay, so it's something you do over time. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do that in this video. Now, the first natural way is dietary changes. Okay, you cannot be treating fibroids and still eating some kind of foods. Number 1 food to avoid is soya milk, soya beans, any soy related products. If you have a case of fibroids or cyst or imbalanced hormone. You should stay away from that food. It is healthy, okay, so it's a very healthy food, but then it's not good for you if you have fibroids. The reason is because of when you take lots of soy and the body is digesting it, it will cause your body to release lots of progesterone and estrogen, okay, which I told you helps in the growth of fibroids. At the same time, avoid white bread and white bread and white sugar. Avoid processed food and processed meats, all those canned beefs, canned fishes and all that. Avoid all those things. Try as much as possible to eat natural foods. Okay, now there is one other mistake that we've been making. In fact, it's now a culture. Most of us eat food from plastic containers. Okay, we eat food that have been placed in, like when we cook, we take the hot foods and we put them in plastic containers, or we now start cooking with non-stick pots. If you use non-stick pots in cooking, there's a particular kind of pot called non-stick pots. Okay, so if you use it in cooking, I want you to know that these pots, when you heat them up, it releases a chemical known as BPA. Now, BPA is like, it mimics, like the effect it has on your body is like the effects you have when you have high estrogen in your body. Okay, we've been talking about plastics for a while and how it causes cancers and all that, but I don't know, recently we don't used to talk about it again because we have now gotten used to it. If you want to drink your tea, if it's hot, use a ceramic cup or a stainless cup. If you want to cook, use a ceramic or a stainless plate. Don't put your hot foods in plastic containers, especially if you have fibroids and cysts. Now, solutions. Now, one of our readers, probably she may be watching this video alongside you. Now, she's called Anita. Okay, she shared a very good natural juice remedy that she used to end her fibroids within 4 months. This natural juice remedy contains some powerful ingredients, including calciferous vegetables, that is vegetables like cabbage and ugu and all that, and they work great. Okay, many of my clients, like many of my readers, many fruitful moms who are in our Facebook group have tried it and they saw great results with this miracle juice recipe. Now keep in mind, understand something, this miracle remedy does not work overnight. As I said earlier, you have to take this juice religiously for like 4 weeks to see results. And it is different from the last juice I shared with you. That's the massive erection juice formula. This one is strictly a detox juice. In fact, I don't know if I told you, but then I want you to understand one secret. Any kind of sickness at all, starting from malaria to typhoid fever to dysentery to HIV to fibroids to infertility, any kind of disease that you may have starts from one thing, and that is toxins. Okay, toxins are like poisons in the blood. Like when your body does not eliminate waste on time or as fast as it should, maybe your kidney is not, or your liver, maybe it's not excreting, it's not removing the waste on time the way it should. Now these toxins or this waste may seep into your blood, and when they get into your blood, they can infect your blood and your bone marrow. Your bone marrow is from where the red blood cells are made. Okay, so when you have these symptoms like headache or stomach pains and you go and start treating the symptoms, you are following it the other way around, the wrong way. Treating the symptoms or trying to reduce the headaches and pains will not treat it from the root cause. It will not treat this illness from the root cause. Okay, so whenever these symptoms start coming up, sometimes you're already infected. Okay, so this juice remedy now that Anita shared with us, I am sharing it with you now totally free of charge, so that at least, even if you don't get to subscribe for the fibroid shrinking program, you can as well start doing something on your own and start reducing the pains and other symptoms of fibroids. Okay, but don't forget, working on the pains is not the solution. This juice will help you remove toxins to help you detoxify your system. Okay, now what you need for this juice remedy includes lemon, which is a great cleanser, ginger, which is a great pain reliever, turmeric, which is a great pain reliever too, and at the same time beet leaves. That's that very reddish ball that looks like onions. It's very red in color. Okay, it's rich in iron too, in case you're having loss of blood. Now apple is also needed. Apple is a great natural sweetener. At the same time, you need spinach. Spinach will help. Spinach or ugu. It's either you use spinach or you use pumpkin leaf, ugu. Okay, spinach increases the hemoglobin level in your blood. Hemoglobin also helps in production of the red blood cells. At the same time, if you can't find collard greens, maybe you're in Nigeria, use cabbage. Okay, cabbage helps well. Okay, so this is how to prepare it. You start with your lemon, cut the lemon into 4 pieces and put them into a juice one by one. Okay, now you use the ginger and turmeric together. You grind your ginger normal. It's either you use your pestle and mortar to pound it together, but make sure you use a small size of them because they have a very powerful taste. Like you can just use 1 clove of ginger, or just not the full 1 clove, just cut it. Use it according to taste. And turmeric, you may just add like 1 spoon or 2 spoons. Okay, now next is apple. Cut your apple into 4 pieces and put them one by one as you are blending the juice. Okay, this will add sweetness to the juice. If you want more sweetness to your juice, then you can use grapes as well. Now add beets. You can chop off the beet head and put them into the juicer or blender, but also add beet leaves, as they are more nutritious than the beet itself. Okay, so beet heads are strong in taste, so don't add too much to your drink. But then if your hemoglobin level is low, maybe if you've done a total blood count, a CBC, if you've done a full blood count, FBC, you can add beets to your drink as well. That is, if you've noticed that your hemoglobin level is low. Okay, now you should add spinach or ugu leaves, that's pumpkin leaves. Add as much as you want, because spinach is very rich in iron and to help to replenish every blood that you've lost. Okay, you can start by adding 4 to 5 leaves and maybe increase it gradually, especially if you have anemia. Okay, now that is why I said you should go for a test. After you go for a pelvic scan or ultrasound, also go for a full blood count. Let them check your blood to know if you're lacking blood, especially if you've been experiencing long periods that last more than 4 or 5 days. Now you add the super ingredients, which is collard greens. If you're abroad, it's able to get this, but if you're in Nigeria, use cabbage. Okay, all these I've mentioned, starting from the lemon, the ginger and turmeric, the apple, the beets, the spinach, and the cabbage or collard greens. They are they are extremely alkalizing and will bring your pH level to a normal level. Now what this does is that it will help balance out your hormones. Lots of you did not participate in our fertility boosting program, because in that program we explain every single step that you need in order to balance out your hormones, which is the first step of handling any infertility case at all. Okay, now you should drink this juice 3 to 4 months to shrink your fibroids and prevent them from growing again. Okay, it is very effective, and although I didn't use it myself, but one of my readers shared it with us, and she shared the testimony with us. Okay, so we are giving it to you and saying try it and give us your testimony too if it works for you. Okay, now get rid of fibroids using our fertility oil. This is the particular program that I used alongside Nurse Vivian. Okay, this is the particular program that this is the fertility oil that she used to naturally get rid of her fibroids without surgery. And we just have like 35 packs left of this fertility oil. Okay, now don't get me wrong, it's not like the juice and the medical solutions I shared with you don't work. They work, but then this one works faster when you use it alongside, like you're taking the juice, you're changing your diet, and at the same time you're using this fertility oil and the massage. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We just imported a few of this oil all the way from the Chinese. We called our partners who are in China and had them send us this this fertility oil. Okay, so we've sold off some already, and now we just have like 35. We didn't import much because we didn't have much money with us, so we just imported a few. And alongside this fertility oil, you also be getting a video of how to use it. Okay, so you're going to register by visiting the link I will show you right now. Okay, so here is what you're getting when you register for this program. You're getting the original healing castor oil that we got all the way from the traditional medical guys in China. You're getting this here, you're getting this red water heating bottle. This is where you put your hot water inside. It's part of the procedure that we are going to reveal to you on how to cure your fibroids using our fertility oil. Okay, so as you're making your dietary changes, you're making your lifestyle changes, at the same time you are using our fertility oil. At least you're going to be using it like 2-3 times in a month. Okay, now use this for effective results. In fact, the results you're going to get from using this particular castor oil, our fertility massage, and the instructions, including the juice formula that I just showed you, will blow your mind. In fact, when you do it, you will be the one to come back and give us your testimonies. You'll be the one to introduce other women. In fact, you'll be asking yourself, why haven't you, why didn't anybody tell you about these natural ways? But then, no time is late. Anytime at all that you start making a move is the time that counts for you. Okay, so I don't know what you're passing through. I don't know whether fibroids and cysts has made you lose a whole lot of money. I don't know if you've suffered lots of pregnancy complications, but this is the same steps we used, and we are unveiling everything to you. Okay, we are giving you a chance, an opportunity to partake in this program. It's going to be online. We are going to give you a download link. We're going to give you complete access to the video where we showed you exactly how to use this fertility oil and how to use it to treat both your fibroids. Funny thing, and the good thing is that it works perfectly well for unblocking your tubes and also controlling PCOS, okay, PCOS. Now, here is the thing, there is a discount fee attached right now. The registration fee for this program goes for 25,000 naira, okay, but then you're not paying 25,000 naira for it. You get it at a discount of 15,000 naira, but that is if you register on or before the end of this week. Okay, so in order to get registered, all you have to do is visit the link below to register. Just pause this video right now and copy out this link and visit it. Okay, when you visit it, you'll be taken to a page where you'll be making payments using your card at the rate of 15,000 naira. Now, one major question we get is this: people tell us they can't afford it, why is it this costly and all that. Now I want you to understand something. This is about the cheapest and most natural way you can get anywhere when it comes to treating fibroids, unblocking your tubes, and PCOS. Okay, now time, I believe, I don't know about you, but I believe that time is more precious than money. You spend 2 years, you spend 3 years, you spend 10 years moving around from one place to another looking for a solution, and then at the end of the day all you do is no result. At the end of the day you find out that the problem still persists. And don't forget that time is something that once you spend it wrongly you can never get it back. And with time you find out that women with age, they keep, every day passes, they keep on aging, and as you age your chances of getting pregnant reduces. Okay, so but money is something that you can make over and over and over and over again. But then that does not mean you should go about start spending money on things that don't work. Okay, we are giving you this solution now. It has been tested. This is something that we use personally. In fact, we are giving you a guarantee on this. You get, it works, and it works without any nasty side effects that comes along with drugs and surgery. Okay, the second question we always get is, how do we know if the fibroids have started shrinking? Okay, now there is only one way to know when the fibroids are started shrinking. In fact, there are two ways. The first way is to go for an ultrasound once every 3 months, and the second way is to pay attention to the symptoms. When you start using our fertility oil and taking the same steps that we show you in the video that you will get after you register, you will notice instantly that the pains will drastically reduce. This one we should take about 2-3 weeks. You will notice it. In fact, you will be the one to contact us and we will share your testimony in our Facebook group, just like the other women who have shared. As you're seeing on your screen right now, these are some of the testimonies we've been getting. And this particular one now, you find out that there are women who've been suffering for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And funny thing is that they keep on doing the same thing. They keep on going from one local drink. They take one local herb, visit one local home, pay 20,000 to this pastor, pay 100,000. At the same time, the thing does not go. But this natural solution that I am offering you right now is like the A to Z of everything you need to know. Okay, and like I said, by the end of the week the discount will be off, not because we cannot keep it at 15,000, but because we have a whole lot of people who are indicating interest, and in order to give you the best of our time, we are taking, like I said, we just have 35 slots left, 35 packs of this fertility oil left. Okay, we want to give you guys the best. That's why we didn't import much, because we have lots of rush. Okay, now here is my last advice to everyone who is suffering from fibroids, or anyone who is suffering from cysts, ovarian cysts, or anyone who has blocked tubes. Please don't go for operation. Okay, don't get it operated on, as there are many alternative natural ways. The only time you can start considering operation is if maybe it has gotten too big, like your tummy, the fibroid growth has gotten too big. Okay, get it tested, go for your ultrasound, get it tested. But if it is possible, avoid operation as much as possible. Fibroids are like little trees. If you cut one down, if you snip it off, then another one will come, and removing your uterus will create a lot of hormonal problems for you. Give it a try. Try this, our 3-step natural fibroid treatment for 6 months, and I hope you will also cure your fibroids as we did. Okay, now thank you very much for having watched this video from A to the Z, and I seriously do pray that anything that fibroids or ovarian cyst or a block tube have taken from your life shall be replenished once you start putting these steps to practice. I suggest you try out these natural remedies, including the juice, for 6 months to see any benefits. Or if you want to get results faster, then combine the 3 of them. Use the juice, use the the fertility oil, and at the same time change your diet. Okay, with these 3 holistic steps and methods that I've provided inside this fibroid shrinking product, you will know no pains. Okay, it will go and it will not come back. This is a permanent cure that I'm offering to you at a discount. Okay, so click the link on your screen right now, copy it out, pause this video, copy out this link, and download. After you register, you download the videos, and at the same time we will send you the fertility oil and the hot water bottle and the video link, the download link to the video that you need. That is what you're getting, and you're getting it at a discount of 15,000 naira. To register, pause this video right now and copy out this link on your screen in order to register. Thank you once more. My name is Kene, and I am doing this video on behalf of Nurse Vivian from the Fruit of the Womb Facebook group. Remain blessed.